Greetings everyone and welcome to Spacing Out. I'm Jason McClellan.
And I'm Maureen Elsberry. Thanks for joining us.
Let's get you caught up on some of the space and UFO stories that have made headlines recently.
A passenger photographed a UFO over London outside an airplane window on the morning of Sunday, May 25th.
The plane was reportedly flying over London, England, when a passenger snapped at least 5 photos of the unidentified object seen through the plane's window. As the Mirror describes, the photos show a dark-colored disc with lights on either side that appear to be flying above the cloud line.
Some media sources claim the photos were taken from a commercial flight, and WHM in Rochester, New York surmises that the UFO appears to fly up and away towards the right side of the frame. But the photographer and the origin of these photos are unknown, and very few details are available.
The photos were published in a video uploaded to YouTube by the channel UFO 2012. Complete with dramatic music, extreme close-ups of the UFO, and images of the UFO with various photo filters applied. Now, the only details provided with this video come from the title itself. UFO flies by plane window in London, UK, May 25, 2014 in the morning.
Some are praising these photos as incredible evidence of an extraterrestrial spacecraft, but others are extremely skeptical. Some believe the object is a conventional craft, such as an airplane or military drone, but others assert the photos are fabricated, depicting a boat photoshopped into the clouds. Another possibility is the object is simply something on the window itself, like a chip in the window. But little more than speculation can be gleaned from these photos because of the extremely poor quality of the photos, the lack of any additional details, and the mysterious origin of the photos.
Google claimed responsibility for a cigar-shaped UFO that was seen in multiple states in October 2012. And now the technology giant has revealed more details about the incident.
As you may remember, the UFO sighting generated major headlines in 2012 after amateur astronomer Alan Epling captured photos and video of a strange cigar-shaped UFO in Kentucky in October of 2012. A couple weeks later, local media reported that the UFO was simply a toy solar balloon, but many doubted this identification. It wasn't until nearly a year later that Google stepped up to announce that the UFO was theirs.
Wired reported that Epling and others witnessed a test of Project Loon, a breathtaking, ambitious plan to bring the internet to a huge swath of as-yet unconnected humanity via thousands of solar-powered, high-pressured balloons floating some 60,000 feet above Earth. Not everyone bought Google's story because the Project Loon balloon images released by Google look nothing like the images captured by Epling. But now Google apparently has an explanation for that.
On May 17th at Smithsonian Magazine's The Future Is Here festival in Washington, D.C., Google ex-chief technical architect Rich Duvall announced that the 2012 UFO was a 120-foot-long cylinder prototype called Falcon 11. Subsequent Loon balloon designs reportedly took on a more conventional appearance.
Duvall also revealed that this Falcon 11 prototype was only supposed to take a brief test flight in California, but it malfunctioned, leading to its cross-country flight. In addition to losing control of the balloon, Google team members also lost the ability to track the rogue balloon.
As Space.com reports, instead they found themselves relying on UFO watchers across the country, tracing its trip from California to its most famous sighting in Kentucky, then on to Canada over the course of 11 days.
Duvall adds, if you want to start a secret stratospheric program and one project goes rogue, you can outsource your tracking to the UFO guys. Despite these latest details, there are sure to be those who still doubt that Google was truly responsible for the 2012 UFO sighting.
A new study asserts that the Milky Way is home to 100 million planets that could support alien life. And not just simple microbial life, but complex alien life.
A scientific team evaluated the expanding list of confirmed exoplanets, then evaluated the density, temperature, substrate, chemistry, distance from its parent star, and age of each planet. The team used this information to compute a biological complexity index, or BCI, rating these planets on a scale from 0 to 1.0, according to characteristics assumed to be important for supporting multicellular life.
Professor Dirk Schultz-McCutch from Washington State University explained on Air and Space Magazine's website the BCI calculation revealed that 1 to 2% of known exoplanets showed a BCI rating higher than Jupiter's moon Europa, which has a subsurface global ocean that may be hospitable to life. Based on an estimate of 10 billion stars in the Milky Way and assuming an average of 1 planet per star, this yields a figure of 100 million. Some scientists believe the number could be 10 times higher.
Schultz-McCutch is also careful to point out that the study does not claim that complex life definitively exists on 100 million planets. It only points out that the necessary conditions to support that life could exist on that many planets. The team's research was published in the journal Challenges in a paper titled Assessing the Possibility of Biological Complexity on Other Worlds with an Estimate of the Occurrence of Complex Life in the Milky Way Galaxy.
A video that was allegedly obtained from sources inside a Puerto Rican federal agency shows 2 UFOs over western Puerto Rico.
The video was reportedly shot by an infrared camera aboard a Homeland Security helicopter in the Puerto Rican city of Aguadilla in the early morning hours of April 26, 2013.
This video was uploaded to YouTube by Jose Martinez, a member of the Puerto Rican research group. He explains that the video was shot from a helicopter from Rafael Hernandez International Airport, which was formerly a United States Air Force base called Ramey Air Force Base. This base was named after Brigadier General Howard Knox Ramey and not after General Roger Ramey, as some believe. Roger Ramey is the infamous general who announced to the world that what was recovered in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947 was simply a weather balloon. Several federal agencies are currently housed at the Rafael Hernandez International Airport.
According to the website Historias Ufológicas en Puerto Rico y el Exterior, in the video you can see how the object moves very quickly. In one part of the video, you can see how the object is thrown into the sea at extreme speed, and when it comes back out of the sea, there are 2 objects on the screen.
Researchers reportedly conferred with authorities from the Puerto Rican Joint Forces of Rapid Action, or FURA, a division of the State Police of Puerto Rico that coordinates operations between Puerto Rico police and the U.S. federal agencies. These authorities confirmed that the UFO video was taken by a camera aboard a Black Hawk helicopter.
The website asserts that this proves that the federal agencies in Puerto Rico have knowledge of the presence of ovnis extraterrestre, and surveillance in the hottest areas of Puerto Rico are being monitored. When asked by YouTube viewers for more information about this video showing UFOs in Puerto Rico, Martinez responds by saying that in order to protect the identity of his federal agency sources at the airport, he cannot give more details. And that's unfortunate because more details here would be fantastic. It's understandable, though, that he can't betray his secret sources there. But I gotta say, this is one of the more fascinating videos we've seen in a while. What do you think about it?
Right. So, while watching it, there were a few moments where I could see where some might throw the bird comment out there because of it appears in a few spots that maybe there's some flapping of wings, but it does seem like it's hard to know because without sources of how fast the helicopter was going compared to the object, it's really hard to determine speed, but it appears to be moving extremely fast, and it is pretty mysterious, I will say. And it's
an infrared camera, so it's hard to really see what's going on, and like the website asserts, it crashing into the water. It's difficult to make out what's water and what isn't.
Right.
Hard to determine that stuff, especially if you're not used to seeing footage on an infrared camera. I do really like this because it allegedly comes from an official source.
Right.
And that's a great place for a video to come from. And I mean, we've seen other official videos from government bodies where there appear to be pretty remarkable things that turn out to be bugs.
Right.
We can eliminate that with this one, I'm pretty sure. It is a fascinating object that it seems to be high speed. I will point out that because it does happen at this airport where these federal agencies are housed and Homeland Security does Homeland Security surveillance in that area, it could potentially be a drone or something used for Homeland Security surveillance purposes. The thing that makes it really weird is if, in fact, it does crash into the sea and then come out and you see 2 objects.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, without any further information, and what a great thing about South America is that we do see a lot of official government agencies investigating sightings, and there's a lot more acceptance of researching on an official level, and the belief of extraterrestrials and the fact that their craft could be visiting Earth is a commonplace. They see things all the time. So that makes this video very intriguing and unknown at this point.
I agree. I really like this video. So I think this was a really good sighting report from the past week, but on one that I think is pretty awful, a lot of crap in my opinion, and that is this UFO photo taken from an airplane.
Yeah.
The details on this are absolutely nothing. So all of the media outlets running stories and making a lot of claims that there's no basis for. There's no information to say this was a commercial flight.
Right.
We don't even know if it was an airplane. I mean, we assume that because you're seeing something that sort of resembles an airplane window, and it appears to be over the clouds, so naturally you would think it's an airplane. But the quality of all of these photos is really, really awful.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and you could say, well, it's focused on the object out the window, so you're not going to have the detail of the interior of the window and the plane itself, but you don't see any other airplane windows. You can't really see detail of the side of the interior of the airplane or the seat in front. None of that. I mean, it looks really awful. No detail. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, on top of that, it's coming from a very dubious source. UFOs OVNIs 2012 is the username of the YouTube thing, so they're obviously uploading lots of alleged UFO videos.
They've got a lot of stuff on there like mermaids and things like that too.
And not providing any details at all is very red flag. I'm throwing this one out the window until if any more details come forward, because
yeah, we have no idea about the origin of these photos, no details to go along with them. And you know, this claim of whatever shape of this object, I mean, you can't rely on that because, number one, we don't have the original photos. Number two, these are extreme zooms on a tiny dot in these photos.
Right.
So that shape that we're seeing when these photos are extremely zoomed, that's not necessarily and most likely not the actual shape of the object, whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So horrible. And now I want to talk about this that really kind of frustrates me. I'm not going to rant too much about this, but that's Google. And again, coming forward almost a year after waiting a year to come forward and claim responsibility for a pretty remarkable UFO sighting, then you know, a year after that, then coming forward with additional details that they failed to mention previously to better explain how they even had a clue that this could possibly be their balloon.
And yes, and whether or not it was because that it was still under highly classified wraps, but I mean, it's a Google balloon.
And supposedly just dealing with bringing internet, you know, nothing security, you know, surveillance or any, I don't know. It seems very suspicious to me. It seems most likely they're latching on to the UFO angle to get attention for this project.
Right.
But to come out now and say, oh, that was a special prototype, this Falcon 11, and by the way, our balloons don't look like that anymore, that was just one design.
And you know what I hate about that too is like the fact that they named it Project Loon, and I know that was supposedly after a bird, but they're making it sound like, oh, loony, and oh, UFOs, and so they're kind of almost making a mockery of you know, UFO research in a sense.
And they pretty much directly do that when they come out and say they relied on UFO trackers to find their balloon that they lost. Because, I mean, it's basically ridiculing the UFO community.
Tisk tisk, Google.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Google. I like Google, but I think their approach with this is very suspect. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I'm not buying it.
I do want to mention one other thing, and that is we're really happy that we've added a new contributor to Open Minds, and that's Roger Marsh from MUFON, and he's now providing us with exclusive reports on different UFO sightings that MUFON collects. So openminds.tv for all of those, and he's posting them every day.
That's right. So we've got a lot of those MUFON UFO reports from Roger Marsh and a lot more information. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Spacing Out. So do check out our website, openminds.tv, for all the latest news. We have a lot more content on there now that our magazine is no more, but you can get a lot of content there, as well as Roger Marsh's MUFON UFO sightings there. And if you're a podcast listener, our good buddy Alejandro Rojas does our podcast, Open Minds UFO Radio, so check that out as well.
And if you enjoyed today's show, please click on the like button and subscribe to our channel so you know when we post new content. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm Maureen Elsberry.
And I'm Jason McClellan. We will see you in the future.